I'm going to read it out. I'm going to read the whole thing because it's good vibes.
It is yeah.
I don't know. I still don't know where I stand on it, so I want to hear from you two first.
Okay.
So this is from... I'm going to do an educated guess on how this URL is pronounced.
Probably got it.
Disgayalusa or something. Disgayalusa.
Yeah, probably. I think it's
anyway.
Disgayalusa sounds right.
We love you.
It's a joke about the Earth.
Gaealoser. It's a joke about what?
It's a joke about Gaia, the goddess. We get it. You know, we're with you. Sorry.
There could also be a character
name. It's not
name.
Gaia. It's yeah. Anyway,
some people spell it with
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
All right. So they asked.
I mean, I'm sure that it matters to this person. I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. We love you URL. Great job.
It's a good URL. Yeah. We're sorry for this.
Let's hear this question.
Let's hear this question, Ella.
Let me speak.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. So they said one of the themes you talk about in the first few Cass episodes is Dean's disbelief in God and his overall cynicism. And I agree that Dean is cynical, but I see it more as a defense mechanism. He actually, truly, desperately wants to believe in something, and his idol of choice is family. I think that's what's fun about Cass coming in. He gives Dean something / someone to believe in that has saved him before. And Dean slowly accepts Cass to the point that he literally prays to him. Basically, I think Dean is a heavily faith-driven person who plays at being a cynic, but doesn't actually understand his own behaviour, which makes sense given how sleep-deprived he usually is. I'd love to hear what you think on this too. Yeah, so I guess... do either of you have like a strong vibe based on that? What are you thinking? What are we thinking on that?
Pretty heavily Dean focused for a Cass podcast.
Oh,
just kidding. We love you. We'll talk about your question. Take it seriously.
I was gonna say I do think it brings up a very good point. I don't know about. You bring up an interesting thing when you say idol of choice, or like faith in the sense of that he has something that is an idol to him. I do think that's interesting. I didn't think about it as a faith kind of thing. I thought about it as sort of like a personal sort of, I don't know what to call it. Like this is a principle of his, but I guess principles are in some measure based on faith. But I've never considered it in that light, so I do think you bring up an interesting point.
I think to me they're not like mutually exclusive. Like I didn't really think of them as separately. I kind of thought of like, I agree, like his kind of faith in the place of, you know, a traditional like religious faith in the way that like Sam seems to hold, it was in his dad and in the work and in Sam. And I think the start of the show kind of unravels that. Like, I think he has that at the start of the show, and it kind of, up until this point, has been tested. Like, especially, you know, with his dad. But it is, like, with Cass coming in, as you said, it's like, it's kind of what we were screaming about the last episode. Like, they're friends, and it is like a mutually trusting relationship. And I think it's kind of like, it's not so much of like faith. It, like, to me, it's always been kind of trust. And I think the reason as well that he doesn't trust that, you know, he's been saved from hell is it's not him going like, it's not necessarily him like being like, God isn't real. It's literally like, that couldn't happen to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, I agree. I just like, I'd never really framed it like that. I kind of thought of it from another
different point of view. What about you, Jess?
I think, Ella, what you just said about trust, that's what I think about Dean, is that like, I actually wouldn't so much use the word faith in regards to Dean, because he trusts what he can see and feel and like what's directly in front of him, and he doesn't really have much use for like something like faith. Like if you ask Dean like, does the universe care about you, he would be like, I don't know, like whatever. Like
I
that's
don't
not
care.
that doesn't
Yeah,
enter
he's a
the equation for
pragmatist.
him. And so like what you
Yeah.
said about his
Yeah.
faith being in family, I would say that's like his trust being in family, because
Yeah.
his entire worldview is like these
Yeah.
are the things that are in front of me, and these are the things that I'm gonna protect. And then Cass comes into that, and he adds Cass into his circle of like trust and what he builds the foundation of his life around. I don't really think it has much to do with faith for Dean. Unless
Yeah,
you want
not
to
in, like,
say
a
that like faith and
traditional-
trust are like the same thing, but I think like for
A similar
Dean,
thing.
he really
yeah.
doesn't like, right, he doesn't really like believe in something that's not tangible to him. So, and to me, faith is something that like you are believing in something that is intangible, but you have faith that like something is out there, something is gonna like, that's what faith is. It's specifically something that doesn't have proof, whereas like for Dean, it's something that he can touch, taste, feel, whatever, you know what I mean? Like it has to be, he's not gonna just trust in something.
Yeah, and I think comparing it to like Sam in episode 2, like how Sam kind of has this faith, but he also has like a more general faith in like his ideals. So like he is comfortable, like you said, like not knowing and kind of just having like an idea, whereas it's the opposite with Dean. It's kind of like,
actually that's a really good point, because like Sam is happy to use his demon powers to do something that he knows is right, versus Dean is like, you are using a demonic power, that's bad because it's demons. You know what I mean? Whereas
and it's
Sam
like he's
can
thinking that's bad.
Sam
based
means
on
I'm doing this for the right reasons, and for Dean it's like, you've already failed.
I do think also it's interesting because you were just talking about tangible shit. For Dean, demonic stuff is quite literally tangible. He spent at this point, and I'm sorry to get into the weeds about this, and this often like upsets people to think about, but he has spent more time in hell around demons than he has on Earth around people. Sorry, that just broke Ella for a bit. She's gonna be back. And I just think that like at this point, when he hears something like is anything related to demons or hell, he's like, it's bad fucking news, and I know because I've been there. And I think the show doesn't make enough out of that part of his mistrust with the whole thing with Sam, and I think we're gonna get a little bit into that in this episode, but
I think that's like so true, and I'm glad that you said that, because for me, I always feel like Dean needs to like get over himself with the whole like
genuinely,
like Sam is literally saving people, and like Dean needs to just like deal with it. But then thinking about like how hell is like extremely real for Dean, and like an extremely like he's like, this is bad, and I know it's bad because they like flayed all of my skin off like last week.
Genuinely,
then that's like much more understandable.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why like season 4 and 5 like fuck so hard, because you can totally see everybody's motivations making like complete sense for them, and the conflict is juicy. Something else as well, I guess, just to bring back to Cass, like they
thank you
in the question, like always got to bring it back.
Love it.
Like you know we do see Dean eventually pray to Cass, and I think that is actually like, I don't think he's sitting there thinking like, I'm praying and like I don't usually pray because I don't believe in angels or whatever, like that's not part of his routine. It is literally just like pragmatism of,
it's communication,
to contact
to
my
reach my
best friend. But it is still very important, I think, and it is still like a very intimate thing,
right?
For sure,
because it is not part of his routine. But I don't think that he like,
I do think No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. There's some point, I don't remember where he is, he's or when it is, but he says like he doesn't quite like to pray, it's too close to begging to him or whatever. And I do think that it's nice that it's something that he compromises of himself. He puts like his pride aside to talk to Cass. Who wouldn't? He's such a great guy.
Yeah,
I think for Dean, praying to Cass is like, he's praying because he knows that Cass can hear him, which is like, there's something special about that. But then there are times where he doesn't know if Cass can hear him at all, and he's still praying, and like that I think is really,
it's faith,
really
but
cool.
it's not
That's
in a
fair.
Right,
religious sense.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
I hope that you're getting this like text. You know what I mean? It's just like it's some
Yeah.
pretty good stuff.
That's pretty good stuff. All I really have to say about this is stream the Somebody to Love AMV by Kate Bush and Dean. Sorry for giving you guys Rex. It's just really good. Anyway.
We must bring up an iconic AMV like every episode.
It's good. It handles this theme.
But, yeah, well, like just back
It
on that
costs
theme,
John as
like,
God. Come on now. It handles this theme.
Not to get like really cheesy on the mic, but I think like when you do have relationships like they have, that
Like
are...
you're a man who spent 40 years in hell. He's an angel who pulled you out of hell.
Not
he's
just
come
that.
back to
I
life for
know
you like a
that.
bunch of
That
times.
kind
So
of thing.
when you have a relationship just like that, and I think we all have that person in our
Pretty
lives.
common, yeah. Like we all have somebody who's that kind of, raised you from hell kind of guy. To you?
Well, I think when you have a person or multiple people,
Sorry.
I think it feels like that.
Oh, shut up, Ella! Oh my god.
That's why they hit so hard. Like, so I'm just saying, like, that, we it's like, oh, the imagery of him praying to him and, da 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 da, all the, the whole thing of it all. But, like, I think when you do actually have somebody in your corner, somebody in a partnership with you,
Why did you
somebody
say this?
like that is like faith. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess
I do, because
Ella.
you have to be like, yeah, I do get what you're saying, and that's why it's compelling, because it like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
faith is like a lot of people's like kind of reasoning for the meaning of life, or the way that they like make meaning in their lives is like through their traditional faith.
hmm
And I think if you don't have that, like you know what I mean.
Anyway, you've just made me incredibly emo. Thank you. I not
So should we
to
get into
be
this
sad
episode?
about anything, but like, whoa, what the fuck? That was a beautiful thing to say, but I do want to kind of like send you a little mallet in the mail, and then you just hit yourself with it for me
Bonk.
Okay, I'm glad.
just bop yourself
I said something
on the head.
meaningful. I was
yeah.
just like talking out of my butt. So
No, you really weren't, but okay. I just want to say to both of our anons, thank you guys so much. It
Yeah.
was really
one
fun to
and
have your
on,
questions.
one
Oh, sorry.
fully mask off.
Mask off, open in the true to themselves.
Yeah.
Thank you to This Gay Loser and to the one and on. I'm sorry, and also
Yeah.
Pig and a Poke. Kiss
Or,
again. We
or
love
send
you
us
all.
an email. I'd love to get an email from somebody. I think
love an email.
emails are,
Emails are
we get
great.
so much garbage in our
Really
emails.
fun.
I would love